Right, so do you think Londoners are rude? Why you...
I have an issue.
What's your issue?
I have a big issue.
Okay, go.
I'm thinking if I should tone this down, but I can't do it.
There's nothing to tone down.
hate a lot of Londoners and how they move. Like, I love y'all. No. Let me think about this here. What I'm trying to say is, y'all ain't got no manners. And I'm a person that's all about manners. So this is what makes me dislike how
some of you lot move.
Yeah, like, for me, I know it's a generalisation, but I see it every single time.
You're in London?
Every time without fail. Like, nobody wants to move out the way. They expect you to move out of their way. But
why are you in the way?
What do you mean? Why am if I'm on a path and you're walking in my direction, one of us has to move, yes. But can we be realistic about this? Because when people are trying to bunks me and people are saying, oh, it's just the thing that everybody does because they're rushing, I'm like, nah, fuck that. Because ain't nobody got time for that. Like, people need to move correct, and I don't feel, that's how I say it. I don't feel like Londoners in general move correct. Like, I know that everybody's in a rush, rare tear, brum's slow and whatnot.
Yeah, because you guys all stand in the same place for time.
Nah, listen.
Okay, so the first topic here is pace. There's a massive pace difference between Birmingham and London. And Birmingham's the second city. And it's still significantly slower than London. And I'm from Birmingham. For those of you who don't know us like that, just know that we have a Londoner here.
I'm repping.
You have a Brummie here and a Brummie here. But this Brummie has lived in London for 10 years. So I'm kind of like a hybrid of the two. Like my...
Yeah, you've like lived in the same amount of time you lived in Birmingham, you lived in London.
Well, no.
Kind of.
A third of my life I've lived in London.
It doesn't count when you're a baby, though.
Alright, cool. So when it comes... Alright, okay. So in terms of being like coherent and adult and teenage, half and half in it, Birmingham, London. I feel like I was you once. And then I slowly became you, where just Birmingham seems extremely slow whenever I come back and visit.
It's frustrating.
But I do appreciate the courtesy that people show in Birmingham versus London.
Yeah, but Londoners have courtesy.
Chucks is
what like, part?
Do you know why you don't?
Yeah, okay. You know what? As a Londoner, explain the courtesy. Explain what courtesy you have as a Londoner.
I'm so excited to hear this.
Explain what courtesy you feel like Londoners have.
Do you know what? Do you know what it is? Everyone that's not from London, wants to compare people saying, hello, Pat, how you doing in the post office?
Nah, it's not even
No, let me finish. Hi, how's your spaniel dog who you know the name of? Like, everybody's used to knowing people on a name to basis. So when they go to London, which you're probably going to central London, let's be honest. You go central London, which is kind of like being in Birmingham city centre during the commute, Can
I just say?
Now, because we're not that fresh, that we're only going to like Camden Town and
that's
Oxford.
what I was
No, but when you go in, you pull into Central and you go on the tube. Usually the tube is crowded. If you was to be in Birmingham and you went on a bus and it was crowded, do you think anyone's gonna like say hello to you on the bus?
No. Come in
for
pause.
She really thinks you're looking for hellos.
Really does. Let me tell you
something.
something.
Looking for hellos and top of the morning to you, Pat.
It's not that. It's raw.
Yeah, but
not
don't
that.
be in the
That's
way,
not
though,
what we're wanting, you know.
Yeah, but it's a fast pace. You need to keep up with the pace.
No, I understand that. Like, I fully understand that you like move a bit mad compared to us. That's cool. But I'm saying when you're moving mad, you need to move out my way.
And move out my way and move mad.
Do you get what I mean? Like, don't let that fuck up my day. Because you lot want to be rude and you lot want to rush and have no consideration for the people that you bunks in and stuff like that.
How is commuting rude? How is doing your commute rude?
There's commuting.
I need to put myself on pause because right now.
Do you know why people ain't saying something all the time? Because because it's so crowded, if you was to say sorry to every person that you barge, you'd be saying sorry all day.
No, just don't barge me. Like, okay.
But you're in the way, though.
No, I'm not in... What do you mean I'm in the way? Listen, you're saying I'm in the way. They're in my way, then. It works both ways. There's a lot of ways here, innit?
When do you get embarked?
No, we're not stopped. No, we're not stopped.
So when you get embarked?
Okay, so
this is when people's on the go. You get me?
I'm trying to think about when I first came. Yeah, when I first came to London. I'm moving at my pace, but my pace just isn't fast enough for you. So sometimes I'm walking forwards. I've got people from behind me trying to overtake. Yeah.
Even that I'm cool with, as long as you don't touch me.
But the bonks.
You see,
with the
overtake.
They're trying
to get past.
There's a bonks with the overtake, and then there's no look back to say sorry, love, which is what you would get in Birmingham. If someone bunks you in Birmingham, there's going to be that courtesy of sorry, like, because you're not used to making contact with people. But in London, contact is a thing. Armpits in face on tube, elbow in rib on tube, breath on back of neck in tube. There's just like so much contact. Like it's a bit mad for an outsider coming in.
So because you're an outsider, I need to acknowledge you. Is what you're saying? How am I supposed to know that you're an outsider?
This is the lack of manners. This is the lack of manners that I'm talking about.
Do you know what?
Because you go.
It's not a lack of manners. It's just on the tube. It's every time people say, "Oh, London is rude," the first thing they say is on the tube, this and that. But I'm like, if you go into a pub, Londoners are proper friendly. If you go other places in London,
when
Londoners
people are
super
still
welcome.
People are friendly when they're still. Do you know what? This is why I was trying to think of how I'm going to phrase what I want to say and the passion I'm feeling, because I don't want people to think like I hate all of you. You get me? But as much as I appreciate the things that London has, I can't enjoy it. I can't enjoy your good stuff because nobody has no manners. I think this is my issue. And again, I really do understand what you're saying about the fact that everyone's in a rush, but I feel like the fact that everybody's in a rush, they've lost their manners, because you can be in a rush and do certain things not to piss me off. That makes sense?
I was gonna say, because there's obviously people there's people on Twitter right now that are talking about this, innit?
Oh, right.
So let's talk about what people are talking about.
Okay.
Because it's not just 3 people's opinion here. There's a whole community of people
that
have an opinion on Londoners. So what are they saying?
Do you know what? It's a bit unfair though, because it's the whole country has an opinion on one little city. Like,
there has to be a reason.
Do you know what?
For this blood.
I don't want to actually extend any sympathy for you lot right now. I love London.
Oh, mate, it's just deep,
it's like a love-hate relationship, actually.
I just think sometimes people hate on it because it's London.
Do you know what I want to say? I don't want to have too much sympathy for Londoners right now, because every city has their thing in it that they have to deal with. If you're a Brummie, you just have to deal with the fact that the entire country thinks that your accent is the deadest accent on road. Like the deadest. And people will make comments and people will take the
Halifax
piss.
man.
The Halifax man fucked us over from day, from early.
The Halifax man, you know, don't piss me off.
And now everyone thinks you sound like the Halifax man. And so now, people don't realise that there's different parts of Birmingham and different accents in Birmingham, but everyone just remembers the deadest one and associates us all with the deadest one. So, I don't want to have too much sympathy for you lot, because actually this is probably the one thing that people have to say negative about Londoners, you know. You know what I mean? You're the capital. So when it comes to music, every artist from London gets ratings, and if you're outside of London, you have to work twice as hard. You have so much privilege being a Londoner. So I don't
That's why everyone hates on us.
It's not my fault. But I don't think we should be feeling sorry for you like that. Let's just talk about let's just move to the tweets. Let's move on.
Do you know what? Okay. Do you know what? I got some. There's a few years back that I read an article and I found it again. It's quite a good article because they went round to different parts of the country and asked them, what's your opinion on Londoners? So it's literally different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Is it sick?
When you hear the fucking comments, yeah.
Watch it.
Right. So Ellie,
you seem slightly offended.
Ellie I am slightly offended. Ellie from Wales. She says, the thing about people from London is that you always know they're from London. It's like a compulsion where they always have to tell people they're from London. I'm like, I don't tell people from London. People always ask me.
I don't know about that one still.
That's just dickhead thing. Like, I don't...
I've never experienced that, to be
Why
fair.
would you go to another city and be like, yeah, I'm from London? Like, why would you do that?
Maybe they find a sly way to slip it in.
Have I ever done that?
No, you haven't.
So is there a London Pride then? Because...
Is there a London
Pride?
Pride?
I didn't know that this was a thing. Like,
# London Pride.
I'm not in no rush to tell people that I'm from Birmingham, because...
Nah, that's different. No, there's a different setup. There's a different setup for us. I mean, there's a different setup. Like I said, they think we got the deadest accent on road.
I don't need to say that I'm from Nerdy Way.
I've been living in Reading for a bit, and a lot of people from Reading, when they go to like other places or people like hear the accent, they say, "Oh, you're from London," and they hate it. So people that are not from London that have London accents, or
So basically, any of the surrounding areas.
yeah,
basically.
don't like being said they're from London. I don't know. They just get like, I'm not from London.
So that means
I
that
don't
they
know
have a
about none of
negative
this.
opinion of London as
This
well.
is what I'm trying to say. Everyone's hating on London. Like,
There has to be a reason.
there's not a
I'm
reason.
telling you,
mate.
there has
What
to be a
is the
reason.
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason, bitch?
I don't need to explain myself to you. And
What was the reason?
And then Ellie from Wales also goes on to say, people from Wales are much nicer. I feel like Londoners don't really care about each other. Maybe it's because there's so many of them and they're always complaining about the tube. I literally don't care about your Oyster card. Like, you're a dickhead, innit? Like, you just...
You know, I feel
Why
like
you-
don't care about your Oyster card.
Anyone that takes the Central line understands how shit it is doing that commute. So if you was to do that every day, do you think I'm gonna fucking see you on a tube like, you're right, love? Sorry that I barged you with my arm for 1 second.
One thing I liked about London was that I didn't see the same person twice.
Yeah, I do like that.
I
did like that about Burnham.
Like,
because that's something I hate
exactly.
about Brum.
If you're from Brum, you know Imagine, I've been in London for 10 years, but every single time I visit, I see some motherfucker in town that I don't want to see.
I can't do
Imagine
it.
that.
I don't go town.
There's just something cool about the fact that I don't have to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every Londoner just moves like, oh, it's quiet, I'm going to see you again.
Yeah. You see that bumping into everybody all the time as soon as you step out, your front door. This is the one reason that I would say I would rather live in London. So I'll give you like that.
Thanks.
And I like some of you. But my experience with that place
Alright, mate.
is not the thing.
I like Jane from Northern Ireland because she said, I think they are always very cool, Londoners. Get me? They know they know a lot about random shit that you don't, which is true. Like, we're very knowledgeable.
What? Like,
Wait.
like where Old Street is?
Shut up.
Yeah, directions.
No, we know lots of stuff. Like, we're
Like
intelligent.
what?
Just know, innit? We
Don't
know.
say, don't say all Londoners are intelligent, because
they
that's
are.
just not
No,
true.
but they got like a good level of education. Usually, like, most Londoners know things. Like,
What kind of thing?
We're just saying we're inquisitive people.
Is it?
So we like to seek knowledge.
Is it? So you're saying?
No, everyone else is calm in it, but I'm just saying, like, Londoners
A girl
particularly.
said we like to seek knowledge, like,
They-
like we're missing certain. You get
No,
me?
you're not missing nothing. I'm just saying Londoners like to know things, innit? Like, we like to know things. That's why I think maybe that's because we're more knowledgeable about lots of different culture because we have so much culture in our
One
city.
thing I'll give Londoners
Do you get me?
is
Like,
because
white people in London know lots of stuff about cultures.
Yeah,
You know?
okay, the way the diversity is set up in London is second to none.
Yeah.
So that is another thing
That's
we can
their
give
forte.
London. We can give
Alright.
London that as well.
I can.
Understanding of
Yeah,
different
yeah,
cultures.
yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Man's not a hater out here.
We'll give you that.
I don't know why this Jane from Northern Ireland said this. She said Londoners won't share their food with you, which is weird.
Wow.
They aren't generous.
This Brummy won't either.
Yeah, so I don't know where she.
Damn well I ain't sharing no.
And she said they have sexy accents. I think Northern Ireland has a sexy accent than Irish people.
Nah,
but-
that's another thing as well. I do love me a London accent still. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'll give you like that as well. Still, you get me?
Accent.
There is lots of different types of London accents, so I don't think people understand that until they
And
live
it's the
it.
same as like everywhere in it. There's
Yeah,
different,
true.
there's
That's
different
true.
accents within a city, but people will remember whichever one they've latched onto. So if you're from abroad, you think we all speak the Queen's English in London, but we don't.
Florence from Devon says, I think it's
Well,
generalising.
go on, Florence.
Yeah, trust. I think it's generalising quite a bit, but Londoners definitely care more about their appearance. And I have to say, I agree with this.
I see this.
I agree with this. The style.
When I walk around Brum and I'm looking at the way that people are dressing, I'm like, nah, I'm not for it.
Even
you know?
general
I'm
care
really not
of
for
yourself
it.
as well. I feel like Londoners groom themselves. I mean, people might disagree with me, but I feel that even when people that are not Londoners come to London, feel like the London pressure.
Like there's a
Need
little
to
piece of
groom
effort
themselves.
that goes into
I
it.
think so.
I
I
hear
think
you.
people make
I'm
more
not
effort in
gonna
London.
disagree with
Me
that.
neither.
Because when you go to like
There's
rural
just
places,
levels in
people
it.
are looking.
Mm-hmm.
Levels.
Yeah, when you go to
London's
like
level
country
is-
places, you're like, right, you just stepped out like that and you got pig shit on
It's
your
a
boots
mad
and all
thing,
that.
But you know what it is? Oh, you go.
Yeah, you go.
No, I was just going to say, I think that it's true that Londoners do have like a sixth sense of style in comparison to some other towns, cities. But I think it's because of what Londoners care about versus what other towns care about.
That's true, you know.
I definitely agree with that.
You know, like
That's
that.
true.
And again, not to badmouth, but I feel like there's a higher level of vanity in London. If you be,
Why do you always have to put
no,
something
but
negative?
be serious. Be real.
I've seen that.
There's a certain level of vanity in London that doesn't exist in a small town in Devon.
You're not wrong.
Like who's trying to
You're
impress
trying to
who?
impress.
No offense to you, man, in Devon, but who are you all trying to impress exactly? Whereas in London, you feel like you're trying to impress your peers.
Yeah,
Maybe because there's more people as well. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
She also says though, I don't know why she goes on to say this, Florence.
Oh, all of a sudden you're not rating Florence.
No.
What's that?
You know how she said
you
it?
see the changing?
Florence.
Yeah. I don't know why she said this, you know, this Florence.
She said, all people in London seem to care about is their career. London definitely has great things to it, the gigs and the fancy burger places and the fashion, but after a few days you miss the overalls and wellies and the smell of pig shit. Like, that's how I know.
Nah.
That's how I know.
Nah,
That's how I know that you're from them country things where there's like 2 people in your village, bro.
Not on that still.
But then you got to remember as well that a lot of the people that... Okay, so this woman is from Devon. So this woman from Devon has come to London and she's seen how people, like, all they care about is their career and this, that and the other. What she's not even really deep in is that a lot of the people she's talking about probably ain't even from London.
Probably not, yeah.
They've come from somewhere else
To get a better
build
career.
their career.
And then go home.
Case in
right.
point, someone who's actually done that. I'm not from London. She may look at me and be like, all you care about is your career. These
for
times
real.
I'm from Birmingham. Like,
Yeah.
so, like, it's like New York.
You go there
and
for
LA.
a career.
People leave their state
To
in
go
the US
there.
to go to New York or LA to build a career because that's where the shit is at.
The worst things that people seem to get upset about is the tube not looking where you're going when you're walking, people cycling too aggressively, lorries blocking junctions, and tube passengers refusing to give up their seats.
Cyclists in London have road rage.
Are you serious? Actually, no. I
Yeah,
was
they
about
can't.
to say, are you serious? But I was across a man one time. I got out the car. Maybe I was in his way, actually.
Oh, I got one good tweet, right? I like this tweet.
This is all sounding way too complimentary on London's part, you know. I need to hear some... I need to hear some fuckery.
Some realness.
What? This is real. Londoners aren't rude or unfriendly. We just mind our fucking business, you nosy bastards.
Nah. Nah. That's a lie.
No, it's true. Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Your
Okay,
business.
let's just have a quick... We just need a quick breakdown of this because you can mind your business and have manners.
Facts.
You know, like that?
One guy, I don't even know if I should read this, you know. Londoners can be very rude. Smile and say hello to a stranger you met with repulsion. I've held open doors when I didn't have to and not heard a thank you. No one asked you
Nah, these
to
are
hold
the things.
open the door.
No,
for you.
one of the things I used to see you get real angry about when you first started coming to London was you would be so nice to people
Yeah, you were actually,
and
yeah.
you would never get it received.
Ever,
like, you would
ever,
never get
ever,
it
ever.
reciprocated.
People would just walk through that
and
door.
you would be so angry when you didn't get it back.
The passion was real.
No, it was like
Extremely real.
Like your whole mood was fucked up.
I'm
After that,
glad you remember this, you know,
remember.
because it's a very... I'm a sensitive soul with
You are-
certain
you
things,
are
yeah.
sensitive like that still, yeah.
But I still know what's right and what's wrong.
like, you'd be like, "Oh, thank you," and then the person would just be already be moving on. And then,
These things
or
I
your
understand this for
suitcase would
rushing.
lick someone's leg, and you'd be like, "Oh, sorry," and then they would just march on. And then you're thinking, "Why the fuck did I just?"
Do you
How
still do it?
to,
Like, do you still do it?
Do you still
Not
say
a
sorry?
backside. Not a backside do I say sorry. But I
be
feel like
proper
if I was
polite, yeah.
actually living in London, I would probably
You'd
change
adjust.
some things.
You would turn into a Londoner.
You would adjust.
I'm
You would
telling you,
adjust.
I
You would
do
adjust.
that.
No, but it would
adjust.
happen. It would
You've
happen.
already
Do you
adjusted
think I'd be
already.
able to adjust in my way as opposed to being fully on the crud that they're on?
I think
You'd have to.
conform to the crud.
You would have to. You would
Because
have to.
I remember when I first came here and came to London, and I used to think you were absolutely mad for thinking that a 2-minute wait for a tube was long.
I still think that's a bit mad.
Yeah, we
still.
would just miss the tube, and she'd be like, "Fuck's sake, bro!" She'd be like, "Fuck's sake, bro! 2 minutes, bro."
So real.
And I used to be looking at the board like, "What happened? What happened? It says 2 minutes. Like, what happened?"
Ooh, I remember those days, you know.
You know, like that. And we're coming from waiting for 25 minutes for a bus, bro.
Trust me.
And so her getting vexed at 2 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes.
Like, that's
God
chill.
forbid.
No, 9 minutes.
Wait. God forbid that board had a double figure number on it.
Oh, no.
12 minutes. She'd be like, "Fuck it, we're walking, bruv." I'm like, bruv, I got suitcase, I got bag.
Yo.
She's like, "No, bruv, no, let's just leave here, bruv. I'm like,
Let's go alternative route.
and then I'm traipsing my case back up the stairs in the tube.
I'm missing the city line.
Bruv.
Blood.
Yeah, we're switching. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're
what we used to
switching.
do. We could be at Warren Street.
I'm like,
And she's
no,
like, "No,
Victoria
bruv, let's go Victoria line." I'm like, bruv. These times I'm sweating, you know. I haven't built up the cardiovascular.
This is no good.
But I turned into it though.
Yeah, you did.
So you feel the same
Yeah,
way now?
after going to uni, for those 3 years I was going uni, seeing 6 minutes was a myth. Like,
I was like, what?
fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah.
you
Is this
actually,
because you knew that them 6 minutes could make you late, or just the impatience factor?
6 minutes will make you
6
late.
minutes will make you late.
6 minutes will
And
make you late.
every minute counts
Yeah.
when you're commuting.
'Cause
And
when you
that's,
got interchange.
that's where that rudeness comes from.
Yeah. Because
So-
if you make me miss that tube,
Yeah.
if I miss that Victoria line train,
Uh-huh.
then I'm going to miss the next Northern line that I'm changing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to miss that last Hammersmith City line.
Yeah, okay.
So in the end, you could actually make me extra 15 minutes late just by missing that one train. Or 10 minutes, you get me?
This makes sense.
And
This
usually,
makes sense.
Londoners leave when they're supposed to leave.
Yeah. I feel like that's why I can't be on time for shit now. I can't be early for
Like, you
shit
think
now.
London did that for you?
London did that to me. Uni did that to me.
Because you leave with enough time to get there. You need to get that train. You need to get that Beckton train,
I
innit?
can't show up anywhere early now. I've tried and I show up dead on time every single time. And that's from 3 years of walking through those uni doors dead on 9 o'clock, like, because of the train dictated everything.
But you have to get that, and if you miss that first train, it fucks up your whole
Yes,
journey.
domino effect
And that's
now.
why you get vexed people trying to run. And if you're standing there looking like you're trying to find where Leicester Square is, you're gonna fuck up my day. I don't know. Another thing that I got here as well that's quite interesting, that annoys me about people outside of London that say this. I knew Londoners were rude when I realised you guys don't say thank you to the bus driver when you get off. I'm like, hold on, yeah. Number one,
We get off at the back.
we get off at the back. We have 2 doors because, you know, you can actually have 2 doors on a fucking bus.
On a bus.
So man like you out in these rural places and stuff, have only got 1 fucking door on the bus, which I don't understand. And as you go off, then you go past the driver and you say thank you.
Yeah.
Even if you do, for some reason, do that on London, a bus driver is not gonna care if you say, if you're a Northerner and you come to London next, I beg you say hello to a bus driver, and I beg you notice he doesn't even turn and look at you.
He might not even.
Or
you
woman.
know.
He doesn't. He's not gonna look at you, or she's not gonna look at you. But I say thank you in my mind.
I hear that.
Do you get me? I'm thanking
thank
him
you
by
in my
beeping my Easter. That's my thank you. The thank you is the beep. That's
The thank you is the legitimate
of me paying.
Payment.
credit
Yeah,
of my
me
oyster
paying.
and me not
Right.
trying to bump the bus
Yeah,
today.
that is the payment. That's the thank you. Is me. The oyster sound, it means thank you. Okay. Another one is, he said, Londoners are rude, bruv. What you saying about me telling you how to get from Aldgate to Covent Garden? So saying like we're giving you. I know that loads of Londoners give people in like help in it.
Do they?
Yeah, they're always
Like
people always looking for directions all the time. I've given people directions
You
all the
got
time.
time to give people
I have
directions?
myself personally. I've given people directions.
Wait, can we just talk about the fact that he wants some sort of praise for giving
No.
directions?
Yeah, but I'm just saying the fact that he did was
That's normal. That's standard stuff.
not really like I didn't have to give you like I stopped out of my own time.
Yeah, but see, that's a London thing that all of this is London coming out your mouth.
Time is money. Yeah, I'm stopping my time and my commute. Doesn't matter if it's leisurely or not, to tell you who doesn't know how to use Google how to get somewhere, bruh. That's a
But in
deep
every
thing.
other city, that's a standard thing.
I don't think.
In every other city, we have people stop in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
As you're
not
walking
wrong.
down the pavement, someone will stop, yeah, shout you and say, "Sorry, love, can you just tell me how to get to?"
Really?
Yeah,
Did you just ask really?
see?
This ain't a thing for you
Standard.
lot now.
Standard.
Well,
And
they're
you
gonna
want
stop you when
you
you're
want a
driving.
pat on the back because someone stopped you in the tube station and said, which line do I get on?" you think that, you know, you deserve some sort of medal for that.
No, but I'm just.
I
You
hear
know
what
what? You
you're
guys
saying
made
about-
it sound bad now. Like,
I was gonna say, I hear what you're saying about taking the time out, but the rest, I think it's like Bliss said.
so
it's,
after hearing this, the question is: do you think Londoners are rude? After
man.
hearing everything,
yeah, man.
you still say yes?
No, wait. You still think that you're not? Is the real
Are you-
question.
No, I'll come to me last in it. Are you saying you think Londoners
Glad
are
you
rude?
know how I feel about Londoners.
Oh my god. Okay,
Listen.
do you think Londoners are rude? See, she's questioning the thing.
I
right
hear
now.
that.
She's thinking about it.
That's a cultural difference. I get it.
Why do
I
you
get
have to-
why. No, but I get it though, because I've done the two. I've done both sides. Like I know where the rudeness comes from.
See, now that you've broken down these little things, I have more of an
You should be saying
understanding.
no.
No, that's a bit.
No.
That's a
I
bit
have
much.
more.
Because
You get me?
I still get it.
So
From if you're not from London, it's rude. Because if that same treatment was in your town, you probably would have had a.
But
couple
I'm not
fights
in your
already.
dead
Yeah.
town. I'm in London. Get me? Anyway, I don't think Londoners are rude. I think
Londoners
it's
can be rude, but
Everybody.
I understand the impatience, the rushing. I get it. I get it all. So I know where the rudeness comes from, and I too have been London rude. As a Birmingham person, as a Brummie in London, I have become London rude because I get why it happens.
My point is, I don't think Londoners are rude. I think when they're on their commute, they just want to be left alone.
I want.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway,
Well,
there you go. Done, you guys.